Shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off this video giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakah HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops, a great millstone that rule well, teach well while learning truth, 100% according to the Bible. Also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, prophet, servants scattered abroad the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you, Akwaf, which are you few sisters out there that are sincere in your children. Shalom. And in today's video, as you can see, is going to be building off of this video I got here from the brother, the Hopeful Elect 3. And it's going to be titled that, famine is coming to America, man. You see, because ultimately we are definitely in the time and seasons of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, getting ready to break the staff of bread here in Babylon, the Great America. And what we see ultimately happening with these food stamp cuts and things like that is ultimately only a prelude to what's to come. Because soon to come down the pipeline, these people are not going to have any food to eat for a lot of these people out here, man, because we know that famine is part of those plagues that the Lord is going to send upon this place to bring judgment, you see, and that's coming down the pipeline sooner than what most people think, you see. So I'm going to get straight into the video. We're going to listen to it, and I'll grab a few precepts. Lord's willing to be edifying, fair use under 1976 Copyright Act, fair use. All right, I'm actually read that precept the brother posted, Ezekiel 4:16. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment. You see, that's how bad it's going to get out here real soon. That, the average Jake that ultimately doesn't care about food, they throw away all of the food that they have and they waste it because there's so much of it right soon to come. Guess what? It's going to be a scarcity of food and resources. So, hey, people are going to be grateful just to, be able to eat a can of beans real soon here in this place, America, man. That's how bad it's going to get. Right, I'm gonna read verse 17 as well, right? And it says that they may want bread and water and be a stony one with another and consume away for their iniquity, right? Because ultimately, Yahweh Shem Shai is gonna allow a lot of people to perish due to these famines, man. You see, a lot of people, this is going to be their lot, their judgment, you see, being destroyed for not having anything to eat, right? And we know, as it tells us right here in the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, you see, to perish by famine, that's a terrible way to get judged. But this is ultimately the lot that Yahweh Shem Shai has set for a lot of his people, man. You see, these heathens as well, but for a lot of you wicked Israelites, Lamentations chapter 4, I started verse 8. It says, their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It has become like a stick. And that's what you're going to see here in the coming weeks, days, months in America, man. You're going to see, people that were once upon a time huge. These people are going to start to shrink a lot, man, due to the food that's not going to be coming into this country, man, due to the dearth, right, which is a famine that the Lord is going to send upon this land, man, right? Verse 9, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, for these pine away shrieking through for want of the fruits of the field, right? So guess what? Hey, it's better to be deleted by the sword, man. You see, because ultimately that'll be a quick, painless deletion, man. But ultimately, die of, not having anything to eat is going to be a slow, painful judgment, man. Your body's going to deteriorate, eat itself from within. You see, all of these different things is what's coming down the pipeline upon these Babylonian people, man. You see, and that's why you're eventually going to have people resorting to cannibalism, which, hey, that's going to come in these days as well, man. Hey, because when people stomach are touching their back and people don't know what it is that they're going to ultimately eat for the day, and they're seeing their kids starve and hungry. I mean, hey, people going to, do the unthinkable, man. That's what's going to happen in these times, especially if Yahweh Shem Shai is not dealing with you, for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man. If the Lord ain't with you in these times that's coming when all of these things unfold, then you're going to be finished, man. You see, no hope for you. This is verse 10. It said, the hands of the pitiful women have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people, right? And that's going to come back again around full swing. Hey, a lot of these big Shirleys, these big Keishas out here, all of these women that love to go to these different fast food restaurants, just consistently eating nothing but GMO food. Oh, yeah, these people going to, eat their children in the time of the famine, man. right? That's what's going to come here soon to this place, America, man. You see, this is the point that these people are going to get to where they're going to do things like this, man. You see, but I'm going to get into the video now. So, we're just going to watch it real quickly. So bear with me.
It's really bad. Danielle Grant is starving. I don't know. I'm trying to see if I can get some food. Because we literally don't have anything to eat today or tomorrow. So we're going to try to make ends meet and we can. Desperate for food, nowhere to go. Grant and many others got to the Hope Line today just to make an appointment to come back later in the week for food. Resources are slim, leaving 40% of Bronxites without money to feed themselves. Some still in shock. We heard things before, but it's like, they're not going to let people starve. That's ridiculous, but it's like, no, that's literally like what's happening.
We hope the food pantries maintain open, because if they don't stay open, I really don't know what we're going to do next.
We asked people their reaction to hearing that the Trump administration will partially fund the SNAP.
Right. And you hear what it is that the woman said. And hey, that's where a lot of these American people are going to receive food as of now. They're going to a lot of these food banks and like little food centers that are government owned, where they're ultimately giving away food to the people. But hey, eventually all of these things are going to dry up, man. You see, hey, it's going to come a time real soon where hey, these government buildings, hey, they're going to stop being given this food that they're being given by the government to support you people, man. All of that stuff real soon is going to be cut off, as it tells us right here. Let me grab this. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 6. I'm going to start at verse 22. It said, and suddenly, right, which means when you least expect it, it comes out of nowhere when something is suddenly, right? It says, shall the sown places, which that goes into these stores, right? Your Kroger's, your Walmarts. I mean, hey, all of these stores that people go to shop, even these food banks like that are set up by the government, right? It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, right? Because they're not going to have food in them, man. People going to be running to these places trying to look for food and stuff like that. Hey, you ain't going to be able to find it, man. That's what's coming to America, It says the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, man. So like I said, that's what's coming to this place, man. A scarcity of food, And if Yahweh Shem Yahushua is not with you, for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, hey, you're through, man. But hey, I'm going to grab this precept as well right here. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 15. I'm going to start at verse 5. It said, behold, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, I will bring plagues upon the world, right? The sword, famine, right? Death and destruction, right? These are all of the things that soon to come, that the Lord is about to bring to the shores of Babylon, the great America. You see, these things are going to be going on in other countries as well. You see, because the Lord is ultimately bringing these plagues, these judgments upon the whole world. But this place, America, Babylon the Great, and you proud American people over here, you see, you people are going to get it the worst, right? This is verse 6, and it tells you why the Lord going to bring it. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled, man. I mean, just look at the majority of the people here in Babylon. You see, not talking about, the hopeful elect brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel, those that are trying to rehearse the righteous acts to the best of their abilities, those that are trying to be set apart. But I'm talking about the 2/3 of Jake, man, as well as these heathens. Look at these people's behavior when you go outside of your house, when you got to be amongst these people. You see that the only thing that these people are thinking about is wickedness, man. That's all these people move off of. Everybody's in a wicked vibration. Everybody is, just, evil, man. Really, that's majority of these people out here. So, hey, nothing but wickedness, is plaguing this land, man. So guess what? That's why the Lord is about to send these plagues, man. That's why he's about to send all of these different, evils down the pipeline upon you American people, man. Right. And pride is definitely a main factor in this thing because, a lot of these people are proud in this country, man. You see, that's why 2nd Esdras 8:50 says, for many great miseries shall be done unto them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world because they have walked in great pride. And yeah, these people here in America are proud as hell, man. But hey, the Lord is taking away all of that pride. He's bringing these people down, man, through all of the different, plagues and, evils he's sending upon this place. And ultimately, we haven't seen anything yet, man, because, hey, things are only going to get worse, man. You see, like I said, a lot of these stores and places like that, they still have food, but hey, soon to come, there's not going to be any, right? Especially when the violence and the chaos begins to ensue, the riots, the uproars of the people. You see the civil unrest that's soon to come to this place. I mean, you're going to have people looting stores and all of these different things. So, hey, the resources are going to, they're going to, basically they're going to stop soon, when all of the things hit the fan that's coming down the pipeline, right? But I'm going to grab this precept as well. This is Second Esdras, right? Chapter 16. And I'll start at 17. It says, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days, right? This is the prophet Esdras seeing ultimately the times that we're getting ready to come into, that we're already in, but in the beginning stages here in America, in the world. He saw how bad it was, man, how people were out here starving, how people were out here, deleting each other over a loaf of bread, you see, because that's how bad it's going to get, right? As it tells us right here. Let me go back to 2nd Esdras 15 real quick, right? And I'm going to go down to verse 19, right? Because this is how it's going to get out here real soon in America, man. Right? It said a man, right, shall have no pity upon his neighbor. That's how bad it's going to get out here, man. You see? But shall destroy their houses with the sword, which today is the gun, and spoil their goods, right? People going to be ransacking people's houses, man. You see, your best friend, your neighbor, Bob, that been knowing you for 15, 20 years. Hey, this man is going to be your worst enemy in these days to come, man. Especially if you're one of those people that try to prep and, put together a stockpile and thinking you're going to make it through what's coming. Hey, your house is going to be target number one in these times, man. Especially if the Lord ain't with you. You see, for you Jakes out there that's thinking, stocking and all of that's going to get you through this. No, that's not going to get you through what's coming. That's really going to make you a target to all of these looters and all of these different vigilantes that are going to be out here roaming, man. Because, hey, people going to be out here roaming the streets, man. When people can't feed their kids, when people can't, make ends meet, man, and things are just that hard out here, man. Hey, people going to eventually resort to taking matters into their own hands, right? It says, because of the lack of bread, right? Talking about that famine, and for great tribulation, for all of the chaos and all of the things that are going to be happening. Hey, people going to, like I said, they're going to just, do what it is they need or whatever they see fit to survive, man. Right? Matthew 24:12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, right? Cold in the Greek goes into cycles, man. So guess what? In these times when all of this stuff hits the fan, hey, these people going to be acting real psychotic out here, man. Especially those who the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is not resting upon, man, which is the Lord's elect, because they're ultimately going to be good in these times. But for these American people, hey, it's going to be crash out season going on out here, man. You see? But this is back at 2nd Esdras 16, verse 18. It says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine, right, and great death. These are the things that are coming. The beginning of wars, right, race wars, class wars, civil wars, right? Food wars, people fighting over food and the lack of resources. Hey, it's going to be crazy out here, man, real soon. It says, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? But for the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, they're going to put their trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, like we've been doing through the Spirit. You see, we're going to keep trusting in the Lord. The Lord's willing we be at that number, of course. But hey, that's what the elect are going to do. They're going to trust in the Lord in these evil times, man. You see? Verse 19, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, right? You go into that word scourges, it goes into punishment, right? And that's why the Lord is sending these things as a form of punishment, judgment. That's why he's about to send the famine. That's why he's about to send all of these different type of other, evils down the pipeline upon this country, And I'm actually grab a precept real quick as well. Because in Sirach, chapter 40, also known as Ecclesiasticus, it tells you that, man, that these things that are coming are all for the wicked, you see, which goes into the 2/3 of our people because they're wicked as well as these heathens, man, you see. It says, verse 8, such things happen unto all flesh, both man and beast, and that is sevenfold more upon sinners, right? Verse 9, death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation, and the scourge, right? Verse 10, these things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood. So like I said, the only people that are going to be affected in these times of all of these different evils that are coming down the pipeline are those that are not of the Lord's elect, those that are not of the remnant. You see, 2/3 Jake and these heathens, man, these people are going to suffer in these times from these different various things. Because, hey, guess what? These people are wicked, man. That's why we ultimately don't feel bad with all of the hell that the Lord is pulling you people through, man. Because, hey, you people deserve it, man. You women, you men, hey, you people are wicked, And that's just the truth of the matter, man. You see, and not saying that we don't sin, because, of course, we sin as well, you see, but we don't just, do as these people do in the world, man. Talking about the 2/3 of Jake. Jake just willingly goes off, man. You see, we're trying to rehearse the righteous acts and do what is pleasing unto Yahweh Shem Yahushua to the best of our abilities, being in this sinful flesh. But, the 2/3 of Jake, they're not even making an attempt to try to do what's right in the sight of the Lord. So guess what? They're going to suffer in these times, man. You see, especially you so-called black women. You see, you're already suffering now through the various EBT programs that are getting cut, your Section 8, your WIC. So, I mean, hey, we already seeing everything heat up, man, and it's only going to get worse, But like I said, for the Lord's hopeful elect, you see, you few sisters out there and the men, hey, how about Shem Yahushua is going to come through for them in these times of this famine, in the times of all of this chaos that's getting ready to unfold, you see? As it tells us right here, let me grab this. This is Isaiah chapter 65. I'm going to start at verse 12. It says, therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, ye did not answer. That's talking about 2/3 of Israel, man, right? They're going to be destroyed in this time, right? They're going to be destroyed in the time of Jacob's trouble. They're going to be destroyed, you see, by this thermonuclear destruction that's coming upon America, as well as the other plagues the Lord is going to send, these pestilences, these famines, right? These teeth of wild beasts. Right? Everything that's coming. Right? Matter of fact, I'm going to grab Jeremiah 15 real quick. We're going to come back to that Isaiah. I'm going to start at verse 1. It said, then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind cannot be towards this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. That's the 2/3 of Jake, man. Right? Because guess what? Even if Samuel and Moses, which were two beloved, righteous men in the sight of the Lord, were standing before him, hey, he still wouldn't have mercy on 2/3 of Jake, man. You see, Jake of, 2/3 of our people on this side are likened unto the heathen, man. You see, that's why they're going to be destroyed with these heathens over here in Babylon, man. Right? Verse 2, it said, and it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord, such as are for death to death, right? People that's going to be deleted, and such are for the sword to the sword, people that are, ultimately here that are going to perish by the sword, which that ultimate sword goes into those missiles, you see? It said, and such are for the famine to the famine, right? The Lord already got people set up that are going to perish due to famine, due to not having anything to eat. They're going to, perish that way, right? And such are for the captivity to the captivity, because Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to allow this devil in these times of all of this chaos and these things happening to take a lot of you Israelites to these concentration camps, man. You see, that's what that's going into. All of these things are coming, down the pipeline. It says, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. You see, and these are all of the things that Yahweh Shem Yahushua has coming down the pipeline upon you wicked Israelites, man. You see, you jakes out there that don't want to seek the Lord. You jakes out there that want to continue to, delight and engage in your wickedness, man. Hey, the Lord got judgment coming down the pipeline, man. Fastly approaching. You see, so this is back at Isaiah 65, verse 12 again from the top. It says, therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not, right? And that's what Jake is still doing to this time now. Here it is, Jake. See all of this evil happening in the earth. The signs are, speaking loud and clear what time and season we're in. But what is Jake doing? They're not trying to seek the Lord. Jake ain't out here trying to get right with Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the average Negro, Latino, Native American man or woman, right? So guess what? In these evil times that the Lord is bringing, guess what? He's not going to have any mercy or pity upon you tribes, man, you 2/3. You see? That's why he's going to allow these things to befall upon you, right? That's why, as it tells us right here, let me grab that. This is 2nd Esdras, chapter 9. And I'm going to start at verse 11, right? Because this is what's coming. It says, and they that have loathed my law, meaning to hate, because the 2/3 of Jake just despise the ways of the Lord. That's really what it goes back to. Them just hating the ways of their power, man, right? It says, while they had yet liberty, right? Talking about this grace period, because the doors of mercy are still open. But what is Jake doing during this grace period? Jake despising the prophets. Jake, allowing his word, these warnings were giving them to go in one ear and out the other. They could care less about it, you see? So it says, and when as yet place of repentance was opened unto them, understood not, but despised it, right? Verse 12, the same as know that the death by pain. And that's what the Lord going to bring down the pipeline to this place, America, for you wicked Jakes, man. You see, death by pain. And like I said, that's going to come in the form of these famines. That's going to come in the form of these teeth of wild beasts. That's going to come in the form of, everything else that the Lord is bringing. You see, and Abaratazah, we just pray and hope that, Lord's willing, we be the elect That's not of our lot, that we don't ultimately be judged in these horrible manners that we know the Lord is soon about to bring, that, the Lord has mercy upon us when he brings the wrath, right? This is back at Isaiah chapter 65, verse 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, right? But ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed, right? That's talking about you 2/3 that despise the words of the Lord, right? Like it says, then shall they be in pitiful case. You see, which have abused my ways, and those that have cast them aside shall dwell in torments, roughly paraphrasing. But that's exactly what's going to come down the pipeline upon you 2/3 of Israel, man. You see, the Lord is going to allow you to dwell in torments. You see, and like I said, we see that already happening now with all of the SNAP, the EBT, all of these job layoffs, everything that even Jake is catching already. We already seeing how people go through torments, man. But guess what? It's going to get worse. Because guess what? In the time of all of this stuff going on, Jake still ain't trying to seek the Lord. Here it is, Jake catching hell day to day, going through all type of different hardships and things. Yet our people still don't seek the Lord. That's why it tells you in Isaiah 1:3, it says that an ox knoweth his owner and an ass his master's crib. But my people Israel does not know, they does not consider, man. So our people don't consider the Lord at all. That's why, guess what? In these times of him bringing forward these judgments, hey, he ain't going to consider you because you didn't, ultimately consider him. You see, when you had the time to do so, right? So this is verse 14. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, right? The elect, they're going to be rejoicing in these times, right? Because as I read earlier, these things are created for the wicked. So only the 2/3 of Jake and these heathens are going to be in a pitiful case. Only they're going to be miserable. You see? So it says, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart and shall howl for vexation of spirit. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of Jakes in that time. They're going to be wishing that they would have sought the Lord. Right? You're going to have a lot of Eves and a lot of Jakes in this time that's coming, wishing that they would have listened to the man of the Lord, right? That they would have took heed of these warnings we were giving them, man, right? That's why, as it tells us right here, let me grab that real quick too. This is Proverbs chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse 23. It says, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. And Yahweh Shem Yahushua has done that through his servants, the prophets, making known his words unto you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. So there's not going to be any excuse when the Lord brings down the hammer and these judgments start to increase here in America. When these evils start to increase, because guess what? You've been warned through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, through his men, that the Lord bringing these times upon the earth, man, and to repent. You see, but what does Jake do? Jake don't want to return back to the Lord. Jake don't want to follow after the right way. You see, Jake don't want to rehearse the righteous acts. Jake and Eve want to continue to be demons, YNs, and all of these other different things they call themselves. So guess what? In these terrible times that are coming, the Lord going to judge a lot of you. He's going to punish you. You see, it says, verse 24, it says, because I have called and ye refuse, right? Oh, I don't want to hear that, Bible. Oh, y'all have been talking about this stuff for years. That stuff ain't going to never happen. You see, that's what Jake tell us, man. Instead of taking heed, our people come up against his word, right? They rebel against it. But guess what? That's only going to be to your own demise and destruction. It says, because I have called and ye refuse, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded, right? Verse 25, but ye have set at naught all my counsel and with none of my reproof, right? They didn't want to take correction. You see, they didn't want to turn back to the Lord when they had yet liberty, right? They figured that, walking after the ways of the world and being wicked was a better way to be, right? That's why in Proverbs 14:12, it says, there's a way which seemeth right unto a man or a woman, but the end thereof are the ways of death. You see, and the ways that 2/3 of our people are walking in are going to lead to them being judged in these times, right? Verse 26, it said, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. And that's what Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to do through his servants, the prophets, the men of the Lord. We're going to laugh at you 2/3, man, as well as you heathens. You see, but mainly the 2/3 of our own people, because guess what? We've been warning you, Jakes, week in and week out on the highways and the byways, telling you that the Lord is bringing these great evils to the earth. You see, but like I said, Jake scoffed at it. Jake didn't want to believe. Jake, laughed at the men of the Lord. You see, they called us crazy. All of these different things that Jake do. But hey, like I said, a lot of you are about to see real soon. You see, we're going to see if everything that the men of the Lord have been speaking about is crazy, right? Because like I said, these things are about to come, man. These things are about to manifest, man. You see? But I'm going to get back into the video real quickly, so bear with me. We're going to just watch the rest of it, But yeah, these things are coming to America, soon. Sooner than what most people think, right? And everything that we see happening now in this country with how bad things are is definitely only the tip of the iceberg. It's only the beginning, right?
Their reaction to hearing that the Trump administration will partially fund the SNAP program. People say it's not going to do much. They have families to feed and already struggled at the end of every month when they were receiving the full amount.
Wow, not enough. At least it's something to hold on, but I think everybody's going to have to get a second job.
It doesn't really last the whole month. Probably like 2 or 3 weeks, and then by the last week you gotta scramble to find, things.
This couple has 4 kids. The mom says pantries aren't always reliable.
They have limited supply, or by the time we get to the front of the line, then it's really nothing there. So it's hard.
All right, you hear what it is he's saying. And yeah, like I said, we're coming into the times where, hey, a lot of these food pantries, they're not going to be giving away food. You see, because the Lord is going to put the spirit on these devils to close all of this stuff down, which is all Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. He's the one that's controlling and ultimately about to bring these things forward, right? And like I said, it all goes back to the wickedness of the people, man. That's why these sorrows and these miseries are about to come upon these people, right? So with that being said, Lord's willing, I pray this video be edifying. Just a quick hit through the spirit, to the next time I'm going to say shalom to the elect. Shalom.